Welcome to One on One. I'm your host, Lee Adams, and today we have a very special guest with us in the studio. He was part of the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers, and all we did in the 1970s as Pittsburgh Steelers was go to 4 Super Bowls and win 4 Super Bowls, and it caused the city to just thrive, and was so proud of this team. They were so proud of this team. And we have a member of the Steel Curtain. The Steel Curtain! I mean, there's only one Steel Curtain. And today we have from Macon, Georgia, Mr. J.T. Thomas, the shutdown corner of the Super Bowl winning Steelers. Did they talk about shutdown corners back then?
No, they were called the easy day at the office, and they didn't pay you for it either.
They didn't pay you for it. They're getting paid for it today, aren't they?
They pay for shutdown, or even
gracious.
they pay for breakups today.
Goodness gracious. So we've been having some fun with you. We've done multiple interviews with you, and today's another one about the Steelers and some of the people that you played with. And we were just talking about Terry Bradshaw, and you said to me that he was he was criticized because of his intellect, because he talked with that southern drawl, and people here were wondering whether he was smart enough to be a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. But you said he was quite smart enough.
Oh yeah, Terry is a very intelligent guy, and we never bought into that. And those are just stereotypes that you have. And myself, I've lived through many stereotypes, and I'm sure there's some now that I have to hurdle and deal with. And that was one in terms of his intellect. People from the South, and I'm sure that people in the South have stereotyped people and those Northerners, and that's just part of the culture. But he proved himself. Look at the success that he had. Look at the success he brought to Pittsburgh himself. So when you look at, I don't think he's, although we knew he was never dumb, but like I said, if he's dumb like a fox.
Dumb like a fox. And you guys from the South, you all came up here just above the Mason-Dixon line. Yeah. And you ended up winning 4 Super Bowls.
Yes, we did. And people forget it wasn't just football. It was a social transformation, too, even for Pittsburgh. In spite of Pittsburgh diversity, and it had melting pots and its segregated areas, the Steelers was a catalyst that actually brought the city together in many ways.
I believe that.
Socially.
Yeah.
You got players that always say that one of the most controversial and the most liked that really brought players together was Franco Harris. You think he's black, he's Italian, so okay, they got a problem here.
Franco's Italian
yeah,
army.
So which part of them do we grab? But you think about it in terms of I'm gonna call a ambassador in terms of relationships. It was ideal and iconic, and people may overlook that. Probably don't give much weight to it because football overcrowded, the immaculate reception. But look at the humanitarian connection and the curiosity and the chaos and the ignorance that he dismissed that we can't even count, or the potential prejudice and hate that he negated by being who he was.
How does somebody with black skin that deals with racism and prejudice, how do you dismiss that?
Well, you don't dismiss it. You have to channel it and define what it is. Always define that, like I say, I believe in that common denominator that we all common. And so I always look at it as a person's fear and insecurity, along with ignorance. So I cannot demean you because you're ignorant. I cannot demean you because you live in fear. You have a spirit of fear, and you have some type of status quo anxiety. So that's just like me being mad at a person that got a disease, or coughing, or whatever that it may be. I can't be mad at you because you're diseased. So you have to channel that way. So I pity and really feel sorry for you, you know, because if you knew better, you would do better, but you just don't know.
If you knew better, you would do better. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Sounds like Jesse Jackson. If you knew better, you would do better. Because he talked in rhymes.
I'm sure he probably has said it. That's just part of the African American lingo of connecting.
And now we have Mike
reality.
Tomlin, and he speaks in rhymes and jingles.
Yeah.
And he's a great orator.
He is,
for
definitely.
sure. Do you know him?
Yeah, I've had opportunity to meet Mike on several occasions,
Yeah.
and he is.
What do you think of him?
I think in every owner's book of head coach, he's the prototype. Because you think about it, what do I need today? I don't have to win Super Bowls today. That's not, the Super Bowl is secondary. That's just, it's nice. But what I need is a coach that keeps me at 500 every year. Because I'm at 500, you keep me in that realm of hope. You keep the dog chasing that motorized rabbit around on the track.
Well, there's some frustrated Steeler fans at 500 though, because after seeing you guys play,
Yeah, well,
it's hard to settle.
It's hard, but what it does is set a mark. But then they have to come back into reality with the rest of the league. So unfortunately, Pittsburgh is smart. They got this mission and vision out here based on the 70s. And they think they should go to
That's a
Super Bowl.
long time ago.
Yeah, they think that you might indoctrinated and drugged up. Pittsburgh,
Or spoiled.
Yeah, a spoil. They should go to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
They think that. And so that conditioning, so you have to ask, what does Mike Tomlin has to do? Get it 500. The owners love it 500 because, you know, it keeps the tickets going. It keeps the fan biting at the bit. Now, what team don't want that? He's been there for, I don't know, 20 years now at 500. That's a great situation. Because the Super Bowl actually costs owners money. I don't think they make as much money. And to most players, it's probably an added tax burden. You know, for me now, it was income.
That's
to buy the house, a down payment.
That's a different way of looking at it, JT,
Yeah.
than the average fan in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl. What I go there for a week? I get this money. That's a tax problem for the players. I don't need that extra. I forget what they pay now, but when we were going, it was supplement our income.
Yeah.
It was our money for the down payment of the house.
Yeah.
You know, it
I'm
was
sure
for the
it
baby
was.
shoes.
But you spoiled this city.
Oh yeah.
You went to 4 and you won
Yeah.
4. You
And-
spoiled the city. It's like the Penguins after Sidney Crosby leaves and Mario's gone. Sidney Crosby's going to leave.
Yeah.
And then what?
What
and
do
then
we have?
what?
Yeah.
And that's what you guys were in the 70s.
Yeah.
Although we did win a couple Super Bowls
We did.
then. But it's the Steelers of this. It's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's just Pittsburgh is the Steelers.
Yeah,
It's just how it
and like
is.
you said, because it's so ingrained in the culture, it's just natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a part of who you are. It's just kind of like pizza. It's just a part of who it is. It's like there's just certain things that it's in the fabric of
This city.
the city, and the Steelers are.
There's no doubt about it. And I want to go back to a couple of your teammates that you played with. You know, you talked in a previous interview about Ronnie Shanklin and Frank Lewis. And you and Mel Blount were saying that Frank Lewis was just flat out terrific.
Oh, terrific. Yeah. Like,
Terrific.
Didn't get the opportunity to or the throws to show his skills, but I'll tell you.
And so people in Pittsburgh don't see him that way.
No, of course
because
not.
he wasn't the big star. He wasn't getting the ball thrown to him as much as Ronnie Shanklin
Right.
was. And so, but the players
Yeah, the
know who was who.
Yeah.
And Frank Lewis was he was one of the best you've ever seen.
Yeah, he was probably at the top of the heap in terms of all wide receivers that ever come through here.
It's amazing
Yeah.
because I want to go to the ones that everybody knows
Oh,
about.
yeah.
And the first one being that ballet guy, Mr. Lynn Swan.
Yeah, Lynn, great receiver, no doubt. I don't take him away from him. Awesome guy, smart guy. I mean, just we saw what he did. John Stallworth. I mean, these guys, they were notorious. But when you play the game, and players will tell you they know the difference. You know, it's kind of you know who the big dog is. You know, there's a lot of dogs out there they bad, but you know who the big dogs are out there in this game, and but all don't get the opportunity. Okay, good example. Larry Brown. Okay, offensive tackle, came in as a tight end. Now, what we call Larry Brown today is Boss Brown. Now, why you call him Boss? Because you know what? He bossed everything and everybody.
He did.
Yeah. See, but the media don't say that. Larry came in as a tight end, and then goes to tackle. Well, who in the hell does that? Number one. So that shows the athleticism right there. He's a tight end, scored I think the winning touchdown in Super Bowl IX, and he's a tackle. But what they never saw, how he controlled the defensive ends and tackles of opposing. I'm talking about Hall of Famers, where he just controlled them, and just like they were kids. But the way he did it, without the flair, wasn't looking for headlines, and he made it look easy. You know, a lot of times, you know, you get the media perspective of what's going on. You don't get the player's perspective. You don't get the real perspective, because what you read in the newspaper is really not it's the truth. It's what they want to promote, that type of deal. So,
and that's why we have you here, because you've given us the player's perspective.
Yeah, the player's perspective is totally different. You know, Larry Brown probably one of the toughest offensive tackle, because we never seen anyone beat him. We never seen anyone just take advantage of Larry Brown and whoop his. But no, Larry Brown whoop a lot of Hall of Famers.
And you know, we hear all the the Steel. It's like it's like at the movies. The Steelers have the marquee names.
Yeah.
But Larry Brown's not talked about.
No, it's not. No, they'll talk about now. Well, was Webster the best offensive lineman on the? No, he was not. John Cope and Larry Brown. You know about John Cope? Very little. John Cope and Sam Davis. Oh my God! You're talking about some. Sam Davis and John Cope were roommates. They were so in sync. You know, they had calls. They didn't even have to talk. They would make calls. I don't know how this intellectual thing they had going on. They didn't have to make calls. It was the weirdest thing in the world. They can be up online, because a lot of the defense to pick up your calls and stuff, they just look at each other and communicate. And these guys were winners. I never see anybody beat John Cole, run over John Cole. Sam Davis, never seen one. No. These guys, but they did it so consistently and without flair, it didn't bring a lot of attention to them.
Those offensive linemen are under the radar.
Yeah, and if you the better you are, the less they're gonna see you.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a lot of players are stealth players. Now that stealth bomber they got is amazing, but you don't see it, you don't hear it. But it is lethal as hell.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of players that way. They're stealth players. They don't make a lot of noise. They come in, you don't see them. They don't roar. They don't look that frightening or whatever, but they are deadly. And you have a lot of players, and that's like the Larry Browns, the Sam Davis, the John Cole. You know, they don't do anything out of the ordinary. They don't get your attention.
But there's two defensive linemen we haven't spoke about in our previous interviews is Mean Joe Green.
Yeah.
So Mean Joe Green, he was as Chuck Noll said, we started this with Mean Joe Green. So what do you think he meant by that?
Joe Green was the turning point. He was the cornerstone. Joe has this desire to win that is over the top. Now, they call him Mean Joe Green. I don't think Joe was mean until Super Bowl now. I think Joe was angry up until Super Bowl. Like, he was very angry. Yeah.
And so he got mean with the Coke commercial?
No. Joe Glenn became mean in our first Super Bowl. I didn't tell you.
Against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, we won our first Super Bowl before the Super Bowl before the kickoff.
And how's that?
Well, we were down in New Orleans, and basically Dwight White had just been in the hospital all week, didn't practice, was going to play. But what had happened, Glenn Edwards had a roommate from college on the Vikings that refused to speak to him in warm-up. And Glenn was a little upset about that, but we had, no idea. So what happened, we're in the tunnel right before introduction. You got the defense here, and you got the purple people eating. They're about, 15, 20 feet to the other side of the tunnel. Now, imagine us, we're in our early 20s in this tunnel at Tulane, waiting for introduction, and all of a sudden, we realize the moment here. We have the purple people eaters, Minnesota Vikings, in this tunnel, and we asked ourselves, you could see it, what the hell are we doing here? Reality sets in big time. They're standing over there, and we standing in military file and rank, and we were afraid to look at them. These are high school and college heroes. So it was so quiet in that tunnel, you could hear a cockroach pissing. And we wouldn't say anything. And the Vikings, they looked bigger, they looked taller, and most of them was sporting beards, and it had been raining, and the rain was in their beards, so they looked like real Vikings. And we're saying, what the hell are we doing here? And Glenn Edwards was the last guy to be introduced. He was standing between the lines, and we knew Glenn Edwards was upset about something, we didn't know what at the time, and he was sitting between the lines with his arm folded, rocking back and forth, mad as a wet hen. And he broke the silence. He asked a question. And he say, do y'all know what? And it bellowed through the tunnel. We all looked around and see Glenn standing between the Vikings and us, and he answers his question. We're gonna kick y'all MFing. When he said that,
Well, you were all in the tunnel together with the Vikings.
yeah, the Vikings, yeah,
And he's saying this loud.
yeah. So it's just us and the Vikings.
So the purple people eaters can hear this.
Oh, we all turned around and looked at Glenn. When he said, "Do y'all know what?" And everyone turned around and looked at him. And then he answered his own question. And because he was pissed at his roommate that didn't ignored him, he said, what we gonna say? We're gonna kick. At that point in time, we broke rank. It broke the ice. We had 12 men prior to that. The 12th man was fear. It left. And when fear left, Green broke rank, the first one. This one he became mean. See, people don't know when they thought he became mean then. He was just angry all over the time.
Oh.
That's when he became mean. He goes over and he's walking, looking in the Viking's face, chewing gum. The gum, half of them hang out his mouth. He's just looking at him. He's just walking down, looking at him. He done broke rank. So now we're riding. We no longer we out of rank. We out of line. You got Lambert. He done normally to see Lambert bleeding at the top of the mouth about third quarter, it's normal. Not at introduction. He's sitting up there out the mouth dripping. Ernie Holmes, Ernie played ball to hurt people. That means he would tell guys what he's gonna do to them, and he was saying, "I'm breaking a leg. I'm breaking something today. This got all this chaos going in." And Dwight White, being Dwight, he's playing the dozens. He asked the guy, "Hey, is your mama watching?" I said, is your mama watching? He talked to the Viking. Well, she gonna see her little babies get their ass spanked today. This is before kickoff.
So this all started with Glenn Edwards,
Yeah.
and then
See-
you guys chimed in.
Yeah. Glenn broke the ice, and so basically, if that hadn't happened, I'm not sure what our psychology would have been going on that field. We went out there already. That's why I said the game was won in the tunnel. Before we went out,
You did dominate them.
yeah, we did.
The defense
yeah.
dominated.
That was the cutting edge, and we knew in the tunnel it was over. We knew then, before kickoff, because it's when Glenn did that, and really Glenn there was, he didn't get the MVP, but he should have, because he had a hit that gave Miller an interception. Played a great game. All the guys that played great games in the Super Bowl were not mentioned.
Who got the MVP?
Was it Franco?
Yeah, I don't think it was Bradshaw. 'Cause he
No,
only
it's
scored
Franco.
like 16 points.
Okay, but the guys that played the great games.
It was Franco.
Yeah, it was Franco. But y'all, the media, the guys that played the great game was number one in the tunnel. If Glenn hadn't broke that ice, Glenn had a breakup across the middle on Gilliam, the receiver, that knocked the ball 20 feet up out of his hand, and Mel intercepted. The other guy that played a great game, Larry Brown, made 2 awesome catches and a touchdown. No one talked about that. The other guy that played a super game was the middle linebacker, Ed Bradley. Ed Bradley replaced Lambert. Lambert got hurt. The problem, the announcer did not know that Lambert left the game, because Lambert wears 58, Ed is 38. So the announcer didn't recognize Ed Bradley in the game at all. Ed Bradley's grandmother died pissed because her baby played this hell of a game, and they kept calling him Jack Lambert.
Jeez, I don't remember that.
I know. But
That's great that you mentioned that.
Lambert was another, yeah. But Ed Bradley played a great game. Larry Brown played a great game. Glenn Edwards. Moon Mullen made a block on Franco that allowed Franco. Moon Mullen played a super game. But, that's not what we focus on. It's the running backs. If Jerry Mullen hadn't played the game he played and broke Franco on that last touchdown he scored, it was just an awesome block. But then it said, what part of the game are we going to focus on? Who are we going to make shine? And media can do that.
So, I'm amazed that was what, 1974?
1974.
And you're talking
The
about
75 Super Bowl. No, it wasn't. I'm getting mixed up.
I think it might have been 74.
It was 75 Super Bowl. Yeah.
Okay, so it was in 75.
75, yeah,
Okay.
right.
And so, do you remember the plays like that of the other Super Bowls?
I remember certain plays of the Super Bowl. Obviously, Super Bowl 10, Lance Swan.
The catch was unbelievable.
and
then the 2 catches, one down the sidelines and one down the middle.
Yeah, but there are plays you don't see. There was a play where they saw the sack in Super Bowl 10. And what happened in that play, it was a one-man route play on Drew Pearson. And it was, I'm not sure, Dorsey got it like a draw and threw it back to Roger Staubach. It was designed for Drew Pearson. I was on him. Our entire defense went for the lull.
And you're on an island with Pearson.
On Pearson. Pearson kind of like almost laid down on the ground and got back up. And I, for the most part, using an analogy, I laid down with him. Typically, I go where the ball is. Wagner told me, said, T, after he reckoned I was too late, he just knew that I had to be up here someplace with this play. And I'm the only guy on Drew Pearson. And they ended up getting stopped because the play didn't work, because it was a one-man out, one play, and Wag say, they fooled the hell out of us. He say, now we knew this play, seen it way early in the year, but in the game you don't think about it. And since I had man-to-man, what I did, our tendency is to play what we see. I locked in on Drew Pearson, and I didn't play what I see in terms of normal react to. I stayed because he did everything to not run a pattern, and as if he wasn't. Because receivers, unless they're in it, they come off jogging. They kind of half-assed. So you kind of get a feel when the pass problem. And Drew was an experienced receiver. I knew Drew very well from college, and he came out like almost walking out, scratching his head, that type of thing, and gonna take off. And I didn't bite on it. And you see everybody, all 11 guys up here in the huddle trying to tackle Dorsett, and he threw the ball back to Summer, and Wagner's knew JT of run. He's in the pile. I know I wasn't in the pile, but those are the plays that are critical that players know that with the camera they don't see those plays. So there are so many defensive plays out there that LC and Dwight. You see Lambert throw down the guy for
Cliff
Tunney.
Harris.
Yeah, Cliff Harris. You see that. You see Swan, and you see Bradshaw when he made that pass to Swan, he got hit. I mean, he got wiped out.
But he's tough.
Yeah, he's tough. And so you look at that. What kind of guy does that?
Yeah.
Make a throw like that 60 some odd yards, and they just get cold cocked.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, what you going to focus on? Obviously, the touchdown was exciting, and Swan, that was great for him, but all the other plays there.
But then you take to the third Super Bowl when you had that shootout with them. You're both scoring in the 30s, I think. And Franco ran up the middle on that one, and then Swan goes up to another level.
Yeah. See, that's the problem you have when you have all these great athletes. Who do you attribute the win to? Because depending on what you look at, you can look at offensive line there, where they're taking that great defensive line, too tall, and they're making them short. They beating them in the ground. You got Hall of Famers here that John Colby and Larry Brown are spanking them like children. But we're not going. We can't focus on that.
What happened on that play where Jackie Smith dropped the ball?
He just dropped the ball.
Luckily,
he just dropped the ball. Yeah, and that's part of the game. Now the thing about he dropped the why was he's getting his head so banged around that he couldn't focus. I don't know. What caused that? It just was lack of concentration, bamboozle, or who knows? I don't know.
Well, the entire city of Dallas just went into a depression when they saw that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. But there's so many plays that win the game. We look at a kicker who has maybe 3-4 opportunities in a game, where most of the players got 45, 60 opportunities to make a play, and he on one play they'll blame him for the game. Every play can win the game, but you'll take the kicker here, and he missed this one field goal in the last 3 seconds. You guys want to crucify him. These guys, they had plays out here. How many screwed up? 6 plays, missed blocks, fumble. Well, that play could have won the game.
Yeah.
But we don't have that perspective.
I want you to talk about L.C. Greenwood,
Okay.
Hollywood
Bags.
with the gold shoes.
Oh yeah.
So what was he like? What was he like to play with?
LC was probably LC wasn't a practice player. No, LC wasn't practice. No, he wasn't practicing. He always rehabbing during practice. He got ice bags on. He taped up. He's not game day. He's a gladiator. He's not.
Sounds like he had it figured out.
Yeah, LC had to figure it out. But you're talking about LC had the quickness and the speed. LC ran a 4.5
What?
Yeah. See, people don't know that.
On the defensive line.
Yeah. He ran a 4.5
Jeez.
Quick, strong, fast, lean. He and Dwight White had this phenomenal strength for being lean. They wouldn't like these guys now 290, 300 like that, but the quickness and the speed they have. But LC was a very smart, very intelligent guy. He was a flashy guy, dresser, You know, LC's gonna have all the do's and the dads on, and what's fashionable, he's gonna be in it. Yeah, but as a player, awesome quickness was amazing, and just tough, very cool. He's the only one that didn't get excited. You never saw him mad. You never saw him aggravated. He'll tell you what's going on, but his emotional level was always here. You know, if you acting stupid, he'll look at you. What's wrong with you, man? You losing your damn mind? you know. Or he'll look at Dwight and Fast, man. Well, y'all doing that crazy stuff here. We need to get off this field. We've been at 2 series already. I need some juice or something to drink here. You know, y'all making this game too long, you know, by being stupid. He was probably Dwight was just bright. LC was the one with wisdom. He had more wisdom than he was probably the guy that always forked out the wisdom in terms of something. Hey, Green, man, you know what? You know, you keep doing that dumb stuff, you know. You know, we're gonna lose this game. You know, he was that kind of guy, you know, strictly wisdom. But very spiritual guy. He was a very spiritual guy. He loved his church. He loved going to church. Yeah, he's a church boy, you know, kind of like me, you know. But and that was unique about him. He would very likable, and everything was funny. He was always laughing. You know, he found humor in people and situations and stuff. You know, so he's a fun guy to be around. Yeah.
Now you talked in earlier interviews with us about Frank Lewis played on the left side of Terry Bradshaw, and Terry would always throw the ball to the right to Ron Franklin, who became All-Pro, who was great himself.
Sure.
But you had Frank Lewis over here that was really a superstar.
Oh, yeah.
He just wasn't getting the ball thrown to him.
Yeah.
But then Lynn Swann and John Stallworth show up, and he's throwing the ball to Lynn Swann.
Same thing, yeah.
And John Stallworth, you said, went to Chuck Noll and said, hey,
Yeah.
I'm open over here
Yeah.
on this left side. So he spoke up. Where
He spoke up,
Lewis
and Frank
didn't.
didn't. Frank personality is just Frank. Stallworth was a little more, you know. Stall wasn't a loud guy, but if something going wrong, Stall's not going to sit there, you know. And he said, "Wait a minute, you know, I'm open, you know. Can he look over here?"
And so he put that nugget in Chuck Noll's head, who maybe then put it in Terry
Well,
Bradshaw's head.
I think Stallworth put it in both of them heads.
In both of them. Okay.
Both of their heads.
Hey, I'm open over here.
Yeah, you know, hey, Brad, you know, Stallworth is kind of a jokey type guy, humorous type guy. So he's witty enough to say something to get his point across without offending you.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Brad, are you blind in one eye? Can't see out the other one? What is it? You know, so
What made him a problem on the field
Stallworth.
to defend?
Oh boy, Stallworth had size, quickness, and speed.
That's a combination.
Yeah, Swann had good speed. Stallworth had that speed kind of like what Mel has, where when the ball's in the air, they turn into some freaky human beings, where he does things, and Stallworth had more moves and tricks in his trunk that he probably haven't revealed all of them yet. I mean, I think he studied players a lot. I mean, tactically, but he would always have something for you. Like he had a trunk someplace with tricks in it. and the tricks was how to screw defensive backs. That's the title of the trunk.
That's a real problem because if he got size and speed,
Yeah.
and then he got tricks.
Oh, he got tricks.
That's a problem.
And Stallworth had a trunk of tricks, and he probably didn't utilize them all. He didn't. I mean, but he was just an amazing guy, tough guy to cover. One of the toughest, along with Frank Lewis. I mean, if I had to rank the receivers coming through there, it'd be Frank Lewis, Stallworth, and Swann, and then Shanklin in that order.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who's some of your best friends on the team?
Mel, Joe Green. You know, LC's passed, and so is Franco and Dwight. So if I look at friends that I would, those would be the one, be Mel and Joe, and LC and Dwight, they're gone. Yeah, so those would be, and the fifth one, it was Franco.
Franco.
Yeah, so you know, they always say all your friends are on one hand, you have some fingers left over.
Yeah.
So those would be the 5 friends that I would say that I would, you know, hold in high esteem, that I could talk, that knew me and trusted me, or whatever, that, you know, yeah, I could say anything to, and vice versa.
Do you know how many of that team stayed and lived in Pittsburgh? Were there many?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah?
Quite a few guys. A matter of fact, there's still quite a few guys around here. You have to understand, when you leave college, you don't have a home. College is not home. You don't go back to home. And the great thing about Pittsburgh, when we came here, Pittsburgh, initially, let's say my first year, only about 5 guys stayed in this town. About 5, because the reason we're the basketball team, we only had 5 guys, I know. So maybe 6. But after the first Super Bowl, guys moved here because what happened, the Steelers almost didn't force them, but enticed them, because we made most of our money in the community then. There was a lot of bookings of entertainment. We were in neighborhoods, JC's, Kiwanis, barnyard picnics. So the fans had access to us. We were their Steelers, so it was a big difference then. So today, you don't have access to the players. So Joe Gordon, who was head of marketing, we were 5 days a week doing something.
Were you?
Yeah, we
in
were
the off season.
In off season, because we were speaking, we were playing basketball. Matter of fact, most of us made more money in the off season.
So you were getting paid.
It was getting paid,
Yeah.
and the fans, our money was no good in any bars or restaurants within 30 miles radius.
Really?
Yeah. So for us to be out where the fans were was part of the deal, and the socialization was a different time then. Now the players, and we hung in groups too. We would go out, when we went out someplace, you would have 5 to 12 guys going out. One reason we could buy enough rounds to satisfy everybody. Yeah, today, a player, I don't need to go out with another player. I can buy the bar. So a whole new different psychology. So part of our camaraderie, well, we were supporting each other even in our happy hour times. You know.
Well, you spoke about many of the players coming from the South. Mm-hmm. And I think Stallworth, was he HBCU?
Yes, he was from Alabama.
Alabama,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you had Mel Blunt, Donnie Shell, John Stallworth,
Shanklin, Lewis,
Shanklin,
all those
Lewis,
guys.
all of them.
Yeah.
So
Sam Davis.
yeah, so you're talking about, like, now you're from the South, and this is during the civil rights time of the 60s.
Yeah.
And now you moved above the Mason-Dixon line here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And how hard of a transition was that coming from where you were coming from, where you had to learn what the word white and colored was before you could even write your name,
Yeah.
to now you're coming to the, would you regard this as the big city?
Well, yeah, I think we're coming northern. It's a different type of racism. See, we knew that. The racism in the South was easy to detect.
So it's more subtle here.
It's more subtle here. It's more arm's length. In the South, you knew. The other thing, for players coming out of college here, they're coming into a business arena, professional football, which is very high. So now you're looking at life, even racism, at a more sophisticated perspective than you normally see it.
Can you describe what a northern racism looks like?
Well, in the South, racism was kind of confusing in the South. Racism in the South really is about not so much whether we segregate or whether we were segregated. There are certain places that we integrate.
Well, you said that
Yeah.
you needed to know your place in
Like,
your space.
Yeah, there were certain places you can be and certain places you want. So it's about power there. It wasn't about that black folks and white people always had to live together in the South, in proximity. That wasn't the problem. It's a problem when we go to the creek, we okay. We can't go to the pool. We
Or the
okay in the
or
backyard
restaurant.
drinking out the faucet, but we can't go in Sears and Roebuck and drink out the faucet. You see this confusing dynamics?
Yeah.
You can breastfeed my white baby with that black breast, but you can't sit on the bus with me. You see the confusion there? You can cook my food. Matter of fact,
But can't sit down and eat it with me.
no, you can't sit and eat with me.
the
Or a white man, I like the sister in the bed, but on the sheets, but I don't want to deal with it on the feet. You see, that's kind of confusing. You know? So these are the dynamics you're dealing with. Okay. Oh, you on the sheets you can deal with me, but you love me, or make love to me, but on the feet you can't stand me. You see that dichotomy there?
That's Southern racism.
That's the Southern racism. It didn't make it's foolishness. You get North now, it's a little different. They're not used to you. You know, I come up here once. I was somewhere out speaking. I went to the bathroom, and this little white kid said, "Oh, his hands are dirty. You know, and his arms too." You know, I guess he had never seen dark skin. You know, and his dad was so embarrassing.
So that happened to you.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot happened to me. A good example, my first year in Pittsburgh here, my Christmas, my wife and I, we're out at Monroeville Mall, and I'm buying some stuff to send back home to my brothers and sisters in Georgia. So I got quite a bit of stuff. Probably, at that time, maybe it's $400 worth of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. It's 1973. I get up to the counter, and it says you need 2 form ID, a driver license, and a credit card. Well, I get up with all this stuff. It's long Christmas lines, and the cashier saying, "You have any other form of ID?" I say, "Well, what are you talking about?" I got a driver's license. I got a credit card here. Well, we need something else. So she'll get the manager. He comes out at the mall, and I say, "I have 2 forms of ID that which you requested here. And what's the problem?" "Well, we just need to check." I said, "Well, check what? You have anything else?" I pull out a card that says I was part of the NFL Player Association, that I paid a $200 fee a year to belong to. "Oh, yes. Now you will take my card and do my transaction." Well, I left all that crap there, you know. And then, "Oh, you're J.T. Thomas." Well, all these people, "That's J.T. Thomas." "Oh, well, yeah." And my wife upset. I said, "No." I said, "You keep this sugar honey iced tea," and left.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, and so you can imagine, and there are a lot of people out there saying that because you know, I'm #1 draft choice that year, but didn't know I was.
But they didn't treat you that way at the counter.
No, all because of what? One thing is, like, you understand, even today, we're always, regardless of our talent, skills, we are defined by color. And even today, it's unfortunately, and you know what? We know that. You know, it's kind of like the animals in the wild that are prey. They know all the danger before it gets into motion. They sense it, they smell the air, they hear the noises. And it's the same thing. Yeah, so we always know that our color is a prerequisite to defining us, regardless of our skill set, education, knowledge, or accomplishments. It's there. And you know, not everybody, but it's part of the system. And a lot of people don't understand that their structure is racist because it's been that way all along. Yeah.
So when you look at your life, JT, can you look at any experience that you've had that really changed your life?
Not one, because there's so many experiences.
Are there a couple that bubble to the top?
When you say changed my life, because I think my life is changed by how I view it, and it's changed by my faith. Is what changed my life. I don't think circumstances change my life. They may change what I do.
Was it your mother that instilled that spirit, that
Yeah, yeah.
the spiritual part of your life?
Yeah.
Was that transformative?
Well, my mother, my grandmother. I come from a home that was very spiritual. I come from a neighborhood. I come from a childhood. I went to a Catholic school. That's a spiritual environment. So my whole environment was resonated in that spiritual thing and that thing of dependency on God. So I always had that. The nuns, scared the hell out of me because I thought they lived in hell. They knew so much about it. So everybody was going to hell. So I figured I got to find a way not to go there because.
It don't sound too fun down there.
So I figured I should jump on board early, and get an insurance policy because I
Jump on board early.
Yeah. So I jumped on board a long time ago because I didn't want to. They painted such a vivid picture of hell that I didn't want to go there. But there are a lot of things influence how I dealt with them. But in terms of how I looked at life, I don't think anything changed that because I look at life in terms of I don't control it. I look at life that my path or my steps are being ordered, and if that's the case, my job is not to so much try to order those steps, but try to follow those steps and be the best in that journey. So things happen. I think everything happened for a reason, and I learned that I don't control anything.
What's your biggest regrets in life?
My biggest regrets is probably not knowing what I should have known. It's always the if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. My biggest regret is ignorance. Because every day I find out, dang, if you coulda, woulda, shoulda. So, and a lot of times it's not that it wasn't there, I missed it. My nature, not that the right answer wasn't there. But then I look back, those are my learning trees. So then I say, well, I learned by that. So I don't have a regret per se because I figure it all works, for this, I don't have any regret. Like some people, I wish this had happened. I wish I had done this. I wish I had lived here. I don't have those type of regrets. The regret that I wish I had known what I didn't know, so I could be better. I could be better than I am today. Yeah.
What would people be surprised to know about you?
Like my mother say that he really want to save the world. That's his biggest problem.
You wanted to save the world.
Yeah. In other words, he thinks, and I'm almost a perfectionist. I think that can be one of the things. I think there's you never arrive at stuff. Most people get complete. I'm never finished. It's always unfinished in my book. I won't let well enough alone. I always think that's, So now I think that becomes a problem, not for me, well, for other people, which then becomes a problem for me. But I think that's one of the things that I do. I try to satisfy too many people, and sometimes they look like control. Even with my kids.
Are you a pleaser?
A pleaser.
When you say satisfy a lot of people, that's why I asked you that question.
Like when I say that I want what they want in life. I want it more than they want it for them. And my wanting it for them seems like I'm pushing or I got some motive here. I get it all the time. Well, what he wants. I'm not wanting anything. I want it for you. And that is not normal. My mother say, everybody's not going to do what they're supposed to do, even if it's for their benefit. And she said, it's your fault. She said, you can't save the world, you know. And even my kids was thinking it's kind of control. No, I'm not trying to control you. You got this going on. You so bad at this. Don't you see, Dorothy? Click your heels. You can get what you want. And I'm trying to make you click your heels. You think I'm trying to control you. So I get in a lot all the time. Even with business partners, I've done that in most situations. I'm trying to help you because most people think that if you're trying to help them, it's something you want from them, and that's not the case. Yeah.
What is some of the kindest things you've seen in your life?
Kindest things I've seen in my life, boys. Well, one of the experiences I had, my first experience in high school, my high school coach, one night I'm waiting for my father, and he played for the University of Georgia. And this is before I was even being recruited. And my father was late getting off from work at the base, and the coach waited for me, and he put his arms around me, and he said, you know what, I'm 16, you're going to play some football one day. What are you talking about? Yeah. Unfortunately, the year I got drafted, he died before I came to Pittsburgh. Yeah. His name was Coach Godfrey Steiner. And that was probably one of the most things for him, because he was a rough Southern type guy, kind of like Parcells, if on the field. Because you piss ain't, what's a piss ain't? I don't know. I was piss ain't. Everybody was a piss ain't. But that was one of the moments that I didn't know how to take it coming from him, but it shocked me that it came from him. I never saw that. And I never knew he saw me the way he saw me either. When anybody's saying that one day you're going to play some football, I had no idea what he's talking about. Because where I'm going, I got no money. Ain't nobody recruit nobody. I'm in high school.
Prophetic.
Yeah,
Prophetic.
it's prophetic. And I don't know I don't need a lot of things. Like people need to travel, go stuff. I don't need a lot of fancy stuff. I mean, I get a good cigar, scotch and a piano and a nice meal.
You're good.
I'm good.
You're good.
And I'm good, yeah.
Who do you miss the most?
The most I miss in life is I've lost 2 siblings. I miss them, my brother special, and definitely my mom. I miss her, just the voice. It was such a calming voice. No matter what I said, that voice was reassuring, Yeah.
What's been the hardest part of your life?
My part of my life is really always trying to be a better me. I'm not a biblical scholar, but I know Bible. I've been in a Christian or a disciple for a long time. I've taught Sunday school, Sunday school superintendent, you name it. I've taught men classes. So one of the toughest things in my life, if that's the question, is reading the Bible.
It's not easy.
What makes it tough, not in reading it, every time I read it,
It's comprehending it.
well, even now, I see how much a jackass I am. I can see why people don't want to read the Bible. It tells you in 66 books, you're a jackass. and so...
Humbling.
Yeah, that's when I read it. You never arrive there, and that's the point. So it's one of the toughest things to do, but at the same time, there's a void. So and I think it's all about it's about knowing. I think the whole thing about life is knowing where you're. Not that you're good or great. That you can never be. You're gonna be a jackass regardless. So I've come to that conclusion. But just knowing that sometimes, because I find out I'm a worse person or Christian today than I was last week. Because what I thought last week was cool, I found out I was being a jackass or a knucklehead. It's that point of pleasant frustration, and I've learned you only grow out of frustrations, you only grow out of adversity. As a football player, I didn't learn anything from a good play. High five, pat on the butt. You know what I learned something? Monday Night Football. Didn't happen often, but it happened once. Never forget it. Get beat on a 30-yard touchdown pass Monday night. Everybody in the United States see it. They run it back 60 times.
Who's the wide receiver?
That one was Monday night. It was a Biletnikoff. The guys I know beat me. Biletnikoff, Charlie Taylor. I don't think which one it was.
You said Steve Largent once.
Steve Largent beat me. I can remember that one. What else? You know when you get burned, and you know who does it. It's just something about it. As a defensive back, and thank God I don't have a lot of those memories because it's just one of the most demoralizing things, But in that's when I learned something. Because when I go back, and that's never going to happen again. I'm going to understand why I got beat. So that's why I welcome adversity. I've learned to work. I say, okay, this is my learning tree. That's how I look at adversity. Yeah.
What's been the most painful moment in your life?
Painful. I don't know. I probably had over my life. I've had different areas, different types of pain, and when you grow up in the South and ostracized, you're left out. You're not included. It's a lot of that. Does any hurt? One of the pains when I was 10th grade, I was on the football team. We went through Americus, Georgia, and after the game, we came to this restaurant. There was probably about 6 players on the team. We went to this restaurant, and the owner told us, well, we couldn't eat in this area. We'd eat over here. So we didn't eat with the other team, us 5 or 6 men over here. And I had blocked that out until a year ago. One of my teammates called me and said, you remember? And I didn't remember it. He said, T, you remember we played then all those years I had blocked that out from.
We block out painful moments, yeah.
I never recalled that until he told me, it was last year. Then it came back. I never, from that time, even recalled it in my mind.
How about that?
I blocked it out. That was a painful moment. Most of the painful moments I've had is when you've been not recognized. I have quite a few of those. When you have been not recognized as a man or as a whatever. Even when I was in high school, I was the highest ranking. I was the only officer at my military school. While I was there, athlete, I still wasn't given the attention or the applaud that comes with that. So those are kind of moments that when you do something, you make the score, well, your score is tarnished. You feel the tarnishedness about it. You're not worthy. You don't get the full credit for, And it goes back to, unfortunately, that you know that you've been gauged or defined through your pigmentation or the melanin.
Yeah.
Now, those are painful for me, and those are things that I really I get upset about, and I would challenge those things. I have no problem in challenging ignorance. And so the most painful things when I see ignorance by anybody any level is
Sure.
painful. Because, yeah.
We are coming to the end of our fifth 1-hour interview series with you. And I want to, first of all, thank you for all of what you've shared with us about growing up in Macon, Georgia, and being on the receiving end of racism, and building yourself up to go to Florida State. And then you move up above the Mason-Dixon line to us here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and become a big celebrity here because of what you did on the football field with your brothers out there. And it's been just quite a journey for you. And it's been fascinating for me to learn your story. And I'm going to ask you one final question as we finish this fifth in this series. What's it like to be you?
It's a point of, there's never an arrival at anything in my life. There's no plateaus. Most people look for plateaus. I don't have the wherewithal or the sense. Maybe I fear plateaus. I don't know. That's the thing. It's never. So I can be not a pleasant person because I find satisfaction. I find contentment, but I don't think I'm ever satisfied, though. I think I'm always
Striving.
striving. So I can be a hemorrhoid to a lot of people because, and it's not greed. I'm just never. I don't think I arrive at anything. That's the problem. You know, some people say, I made it. This is it. This is the mountaintop. My thing in life, you're going up or down. I don't think there's any arrival in life. So I have a tendency to drive. And even when I was an athlete, I would train alone because guys set plateaus. And they set situations. When I train, I never control the situation. I never put myself, even when I'm running, I ran by time. Because anytime human nature, we will control it. So I would always not put myself in a situation where I did not control it. Because my human nature kick in. So guys want to work out with me because they want to, we run in 220s. Well, they may run the first three, let's say, around 25, where we run them under 30. But then the fifth one, they run 32, maybe 35, 31. No, we're going to run all of them under 30. And how we do that, we got a clock. And so people don't want to hold themselves to that standard. We hold ourselves to standards that we can control. And if I can control it, it's not standard.
Well, we are going to wrap this up, but before we do, I want you to just share that you're writing a book.
Yeah.
Why don't you just share what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I have a book. It's titled From the Balcony. Like I said, it's already outlined, the chapters. I'm kind of augmented, but it's about perspective. And From the Balcony is a place you go view life, and you remove your five senses, most of them from the balcony, because we love the dance floor of life. We like interaction and bumping and grinding and fun, but we don't see much. All our physical senses in there, and they're prejudiced by that. You go to the balcony, you take the cataracts off, and all of a sudden life is different. And from the balcony, you gain clarity. Even what you thought you saw on the dance floor, you didn't see. And the thing about the balcony is a place of maturity. Because what you thought you saw, you go to the balcony, you saw it, but did you really see it, and how you interpret it? oh, that wasn't hate, that was stupidity. Oh, that wasn't love, that was fear. You know, so the balcony always is revising and updating itself, because I think that's part of growth in life is maturity, you know, and in your perspective. So it's that kind of book, not about sports, but sports involved, but it's about all the things in life, like the Steelers Super Bowl. We won 4, great coaches, great player. But what are the other reasons from the balcony that we won that? Who are the people that you may not know that if they hadn't came into our lives, you wouldn't have had the championship team, you know? So it's kind of, it gets beneath the surface of things. But yeah, it's a book I've been working on quite a few years, but the thing about the balcony, they keep revealing stuff that you miss, because I get smarter and wiser. So, but you have to stop somewhere, and like I'm
Gotta
saying,
stop somewhere, because
Yeah.
we're not getting any younger.
I'm not getting any younger, so I
And
got
tomorrow's not guaranteed to any
guaranteed,
of us.
and that's my motivation. I thank you for you've been a catalyst of that, because I've been working on it, and I probably, like I say, all the data's there. I probably could finish this book in 2 weeks, and I just say, okay, T, take this 2 weeks and do it. It's done. I know. Because it's written, it's where I write. I write it on my phone. I'm writing it all where.
Let's do it, JT.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
do
gonna
it.
do it. Yeah, and
Let's
I
do
appreciate you, because you've been a catalyst and said, wait a minute, I got to get this done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because once you get this done, you're going to come back here and we're going to talk
We
about
can
your
talk
book.
about it. Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
You know, it's
and
been
I'm
a-
looking forward to that.
It's
definitely.
been a blessing to get to know you like this.
Well, it's been a blessing, because what happened, like I say, I'm doing it, but I've been motivated now. I need to take that 2 weeks or whatever, and I probably could. I'm having surgery here on my, not my good hand, but my weaker hand, I guess. So this may be a great time to start it when I have this surgery in a couple of weeks.
Because we're going to want you to come back and talk about it.
Oh, most definitely.
You know,
I will
bring that
enjoy
book with you, and I want to read that book.
Yeah. Well, me too. Like I say, it's there to, like I say, I believe in legacy. I'm not looking for headlines, but I think legacy, and people learn from other people's
sure.
lives. Yeah, like I have.
Share your wisdom.
Yeah,
That's what we're here for.
definitely.
But anyway, it's been just a real blessing for me to have you. And we've done 5 one-hour interviews here
great.
in the studio. And I hope that the people that watch our show are going to enjoy this. I'm sure they will,
Hope
because
so.
you came from the Super Bowl winning Steelers of the 70s. You went to 4 Super Bowls. You won 4 Super Bowls, and just you took the city and just lifted this city, lifted it, and the spirits of this city. That team, the Pirates too, but the Steelers just lifted the spirits of this city. And, you know, we still talk about it.
Yeah, but you know, the city lifted us. It gave us a renewed identity, who we were. You to think about, to be embraced, and from whence I come, and all of a sudden you are honored, you are significant. I mean, and you are their Steelers. You know, you know, their Steelers is almost parental. You know, you us, you family. You know, and to feel that's part of the dignity that I'm coming up with lost. The players here, that's why they stayed. A lot of players stayed here because, wow, this kind of love you don't get from society.
That's right.
In general.
So you feel the love, I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah, you know.
The city loves you and the Steelers.
Yeah.
They love you.
I mean, they bring the kids up even now. I got kids that won't even the sexual impulse comes up and know more about my history than I do. So wait a minute, he wasn't even around. I mean, I went to one kid. His daddy. It showed when he was 12 years old. I'm signing an autograph for his dad. He got him. This little kid knows all my history. I said, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful.
Yeah, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy and wonderful.
And wonderful, yeah, because this kid here, his dad was 13 years old. And I'm sitting there signing a picture with his dad, my picture, and now his dad got him up here. I said, wait a minute, you know, Whether it's something.
Well,
But that's the greatness
beautiful
of the
thing.
city.
It's a
This-
beautiful
yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate you spending your time with us. And
Thank
I
you, my
look
friend.
forward to you finishing that book
Oh, yeah.
and
Most
coming
definitely.
back to see us again.
I would love to.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much. And,
Thank you, my
and
friend.
God bless you.
I'm already blessed. Already blessed. Thank you.
And I thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our interviews. Please check them all out. We have 5 interviews with JT Thomas, the shutdown corner of the super Steelers of the 70s, 4 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowl rings. It's just been a blessing to get to know him and learn his story, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. And I'll leave you with one thing. If you, your brother, mother, sister, or relative needed an organ transplant, a lung, liver, kidney, pancreas to save your life, would you take it? I think the answer, we all know the answer, sure we would take it. So if we're going to take it, then we can all be organ donors and share it. We can't take it with us, so share that gift of life with others. And the best gift you could ever give somebody. Thank you for watching us. I'm your host, Lee Adams. Take care of yourself.